Hello, everybody, and welcome into a new series here on the channel. It's still about Guildcraft, but maybe not Guildcraft entirely in of itself. But this is Behind the Build, a new series I kind of have been forced into doing because I haven't had time to make a video this week. But I still wanted to produce just something that you each could see. So, welcome in. Look at my creative world. It's a beautiful mess, as I like to call it. But today, we'll be
Oh,
talking about the first guild hall, how it came to be, how I built it, and how exactly I got it back onto the world. So, this is it here in my creative world, the first guild hall. It, of course, does still exist on the Guildcraft server, at least to my last knowledge. And I just want to talk about the process that was making this build because it was a little more than met the eye. Because, of course, what I had to do in the video whenever I built this thing, episode 7, I just had to copy it down from Lightmatica. I had already built it in creative, but here I want to go through the process of actually doing such building in creative and how I ended up with such a building like this. So first of all, I had to decide on the shape. Of course, I started with the stone platform I was just plain. All this texturing came much later, but I started with just a stone platform, and I slowly but surely built up a shape. I really liked the kind of rounded pillars look that we got with the walls here that gave it just a bit more actual shape to it, a little bit more depth, while I also kind of knocked out a few of the walls to kind of show that wear and tear that has taken place on this building. Now, I did highlight in the video that it was very important that there was no actual moss on this build. There was no natural decay. And that will come into play later with the lore, which this actually will be the first part of a kind of scavenger hunt I will make all the other members do. This is the first kind of stepping stone to follow the adventures of an old mail courier. So it's going to be a very interesting concept once it's fully finished and fleshed out, but there are a lot more builds that need to happen before that comes to fruition, and there's also a lot more planning with the lore and with some of the other members who might want to contribute to the history of this world. But the roof was definitely the hardest part. As you can see here, it's not the best. I'm not going to say it is in any way, shape, or form. I often, as many builders do, struggle with roofs. And while actually I think I kind of nailed the top part of this roof here, this kind of slope, I think this looks really well. But the only problem is down here, it doesn't reflect the same angle. You can see the angle here in just this little bit, but out here, it's just flat. And while that is something I want to work on in the future, I thought it just looked good enough to be put on the server now, and maybe we can fix it later, edit it later. Also, we can just have the building up and ready so we can actually start having people discover it naturally. Although I did kind of lapse with that and did kind of show people that it was in fact me who built it. But the next couple builds they already know are going to be made, but in a bit I'm going to start dropping more mysterious structures like the first guild hall was meant to be. But overall, I used and abused the Axiom replace mode for this build. It just let me go ahead along here and turn all of the stone into other blocks. Of course, I think it really gave it the pop of texture that it really deserved. Of course, there are still a few questionable additions to this, like, especially here in creative, and I'm not exactly sure why, the whole tough pale moss and coral blocks all look a little more off than they do on the server. On the server, they actually look a lot better. I'm not sure if it's something with my resources, but it certainly looks a little worse, a little better on the server, a little worse in my creative world here. But as for spoilers, I know I've been kind of flying around. There are a lot of big spoilery things in this world. Like over here is a coliseum that I plan on building for my training with the rest of my guild. As you could see, and you still can't see, Draconic is online. So he has sort of come back to the server, so that's going to be interesting. He was just on the actual world a bit ago, so that's certainly going to be an interesting dynamic. He's kind of going to have to redeem himself after all of the things he did in episode 10 and beyond. But other than that, I just thought I would highlight this build, at least for a little bit right now. And I would typically show you this on the server in these kind of series, but as you can see, I'm hosting the world through Essential, so I kind of can't leave and that would kick Draconic out. But overall, this is the first guild hall of the server and isn't the last guild hall. I'll just let you know that. So, for the time being, though, secrets are to come. I'll see you all in the next episode of Guildcraft and the next Behind the Build episode, where we can talk more about the builds and more about maybe some of the more complex builds I might be tackling later. Maybe not that one. Maybe we'll do a Behind the Build, but I certainly wouldn't yet consider this more complex. But that's because it's still in the very, very early stages of being roughed out. This would be like me making the guild hall without the ruiny bits and just all of stone. That's about the stage that this is in right now, and I might change the block palette, but this will certainly be coming to the server sometime. I don't know, maybe episode 13, 14, maybe even 15, but that will be a project. And you'll just have to see about this structure here. But with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and it is officially been a year since I started here on YouTube. I know this is on the Chaos Co channel, and that might not reflect with the Chaos Co statistics, because, of course, Chaos Co was founded a bit later than Wonder and Wisdom, which is who I am, which is my main channel. But overall, I have been doing it for over a year, and with about 300 total videos, I thought I might have been in a better place by now, but I thank all of you who have watched to this point. I thank all of you who have watched the channel, and please do keep an eye out for that anniversary video. I will be posted both to Wonder and Wisdom and here on Chaos Co. I'm still working on the script for that, then I'll be recording it. I'm going to try to kind of maximize production, so it might come out even a month after the actual anniversary itself, but I want kind of the time to make it the best video that it can be. So, with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode of either Guildcraft or Behind the Build. So, thank you, and I'll see you.